Alrighty, let's go. Welcome back into the Skooshi Sport Podcast, bringing you your World Club Challenge review between Hull KR and the Brisbane Broncos. Happened early this morning, 5:30 a.m. kickoff time for me here in Brizzy. But Hull KR are the world champs, winning the World Club Challenge 30-24 against the Broncos. And honestly, they were 100% the better team. They fully deserved it. A bit of a late onslaught, a little bit of a late comeback from the Broncos, which we are pretty used to seeing from late last year. Didn't prove enough. Hull KR getting the win in this one here. And I'm here to bring you a bit of a review, a bit of sort of from a Supercoach sort of perspective as well, and what sort of impressed me and what sort of think of the Broncos heading into this season here. So got it up on my screen here, obviously 32-24 for the Hull KR here over in England here. And I was listening to the Guru podcast review about this one here, and he did mention at the start that like the World Club Challenge, especially in the UK, does mean a bit more to Super League sides. And while I can agree to that one there, it did look like Brisbane are very much up for this one as well. I know Madge has been, played or coached a World Club Challenge with Wigan and also South as well. So he's been on both sides of like Super League and NRL when it comes to coaching this one here. And he even came out during like the week or past couple weeks and even said how much this game actually means to him and how much it should mean to the Broncos as well. So I don't think Brisbane lost this one to a lack of effort. They looked pretty devastated when they did lose. You saw Ezra Mam sitting by the goalpost at the end, looking pretty shattered at the end to lose that one there. But as I said, I think you got to give all credit to Hull KR in this one. Right from the get-go, even straight before kickoff, the crowd really got them into it. The atmosphere was electric. They actually played at Hull FC's home stadium here, MKM Stadium, but just thought the atmosphere and the crowd really, really got behind them right from the get-go. And you can either like relish that and start to really play well and start really well, or you can absolutely crumble under the pressure and have an early try to the Broncos, and then it's just all sort of downhill from there. But I think the main thing for Hull KR coming into this one, or at the start of the game, was the fact that they started really hot. They scored a try with Tom Amone there in the 5th minute there, and that was actually off a sort of dropped kick by, who was there, 7, excuse me. It was by Tyrone May. Actually looked like he dropped it and just actually got a foot on it at the end, and then managed to sort of dribble through, and Tom Amone was able to put the ball down there to get the lead 6-0. And then they scored another try, and then they're actually up, I think, 18-0 pretty early on after 20 minutes. And when I was watching this one, up 18-0 after 20 minutes, I was thinking, wow, this is a great start for Hull KR. Literally could not ask for a better start. But has the first 20 minutes just been all gas, no breaks? Can they keep this going for a full 80 minutes? We know what the Broncos are like. We know they're comeback kings late last year, especially in those 3 finals that they played. Can they keep this going all game, or are they going to sort of concede a couple tries near the end of the first half and just slowly sort of start to fade away? And as I said, to their credit, just kept the foot on the pedal down for most of the first half, like all the first half pretty much. Most of the second half kind of started to protect the lead once they're up 30-4, but they managed to hold on in the end here. So I just want to go through the stats here in this one here before I go through a few players here. So before I get started, they did stick to 4 reserves. So that's what the Super League is still doing. So those 6 reserves in this one here. And for the Broncos, Corey Jensen actually did get not knocked out, but did go down with a HIA in literally the first minute of this game. Excuse me. So that did actually kind of force Payne Haas, or Hakeem Haas, should I say, and Paddy Carrigan to play the full 80 minutes in this one here. But going through possession, 52%, pretty even on possession there. I think Broncos at halftime had either 44 or 46 possession at halftime. So had a little bit more ball in the second half there. And I was listening to Vossi speak about that they need probably at least sort of 50% in the second half to get back into this game. And Brandy actually made a good point, which I think is so true to this Broncos team and probably no other team in the NRL, is that this Broncos team can compete in games with less than 50% possession. And they actually obviously ended up winning that second half. What was it? They won it 20-12 in the end there. And they had a tiny bit more possession, but again, They're a kind of team that can just score from absolutely anywhere, as we saw, can score tries in absolute bunches, and they don't need a lot of possession to put pressure on a team and score tries. I said they can just score from absolutely anywhere. But the main thing for KR is, well, for Hull KR is one, they scored, I think, like I want to say 3 or 4 tries off Broncos errors, pretty much like the next set, gave them really good possession, errors by Mariner, by Stags, that sort of thing, gave them Hull KR really good possession, and they're actually able to take advantage and score off that set there as well. And also here, 34 of 38 completion rate there. 89% is going to win you a lot of games of rugby league there. Broncos, 80%, that's pretty much, it's probably above average to what they were at last year. If you would have told me that Broncos would go at 80% completion rate in this game, I'd probably back them to actually win this game here. If you look at the run meters in this one here, so this is where it really comes down to, I guess, the Broncos forwards with Haas and Carrigan, and then obviously the backs there as well. Have very similar runs, but obviously more run meters there as well, and more post-contact meters. And this one, you don't see often from a losing side. 9-2 in line breaks. Absolutely incredible. 51-29 tackle breaks. So Hull KR had 51 missed tackles in this game, but obviously their scramble was pretty good in this game. And honestly, I don't think the Broncos were that bad defensively. It's just the fact that Hull KR managed to score about 3 or 4 tries off Broncos errors to give them really easy possession. And I think they scored about 4 or 5 tries out of their 5. I think they scored 4 of their tries off kicks. You got 4 tries. So Elliot Mincello is actually the only player to score a try that wasn't off a kick, which is pretty outstanding sort of stat there. In that one there. Average set distance, again, I think Brisbane were kind of running downhill, had to run downhill in the second half. Quite a big difference in average set distance, kind of what we saw between Australia and England in the Ashes there. Interesting that the average play ball speed was quicker for Hull KR. I thought this game was super quick. I thought it was a really enjoyable watch. It was just Super League have kind of not changed their rules, but changed how they're reffing games a bit more fast in the ruck, which is really. I watched a bit of the first round of Super League last week, and a lot of the games were a bit quicker and actually resulted in more points as well, which is what kind of we want to see. They are notoriously known for having being slow in the ruck just due to reffing, and I think that actually really did cost them for a bit when it actually came down to the Ashes at the end of the year between England and Australia. NRL tends to be a lot more quicker in the ruck, but this between two sides was way super quick. I said 3.53 is bloody quick. I think they were clicking nearly 4 seconds during the Ashes, which is a half a second, doesn't seem like much, but during a full set of 6, during over a span of a game, that is a massive difference. Offload 16-5. That is, I think Haas had 5. Carrigan was offloading as well. Let's have a look here. Kicking meters. Hull KR thought were really good with their kicking game between Mikey Lewis and not Tom Momo, but Tyrone May, excuse me, there. And 1 forced dropout each. 140-20 by Mikey Lewis after their 4th try there, which is pretty bloody solid, I thought there. We talked about tackle efficiency. 51 missed tackles for Hull KR and 29 for the Brisbane Broncos there. And then 9 errors for the Broncos and 6 errors for KR. 4 penalties conceded each. 3-6 against conceded for the Brisbane Broncos. Thought this was a pretty well ref game. Forget who was reffing this one in this one here, but I thought it was pretty well refed in this one here. But let's go into the player stats here. I'm more of an NRL podcast, right? I'm going to touch more on the NRL players and what it means to Supercoach, but I do want to give a few standouts, obviously, to a few KR players. I thought the backline was really good in this game here. Peter Hiku, I thought he was an absolute standout. Scored a try in this one here. Went for 18 runs, 173 meters there, 66 post contact. He was very strong with the ball there. I thought Joe Burgess was pretty good as well, scoring that try off the kick. And I thought the halves, I thought Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May really did step up in this game for Hull KR. Mikey Lewis represented England in the number 6 jersey, I believe it was, in England at the Ashes last year. Coming off a lot of hype about him. Obviously, the Hull KR won the treble last year in the Super League, so they won the whole premiership, they won the minor premiership, and they also won the Challenge Cup as well. And a lot of hype heading for Mikey Lewis heading into the Ashes. And honestly, he wasn't the only one, but he was pretty bloody underwhelming in that Ashes series. I thought didn't really produce a whole lot for England. I said I think they scored 3 tries for the whole series in that game. He didn't really do a lot, but he was really impactful for the side. He went for 15 runs, 104 meters here. Obviously had that really key 40-20 for them after that 4th try to give them more possession as well. One downside that Mikey Lewis did have, he did have that touch penalty to go into touch with about 4 or 5 minutes left to go and didn't go into touch, which could have been, honestly, could have been very, very costly, but lucky to get away with it. His kicking game was very, very good. 17 kicks for 680 meters. Forced a dropout as well as said having that 40-20 as well. Just the one error. I thought he was really bloody strong in this game. For Hull KR. Didn't have any tries or try assists, but just overall thought he was very solid. Tyrone May had also a very solid game. 1 line break assist, 2 try assists in that game. Didn't do too much, obviously, when it came to the kicking game, but just overall thought he controlled it pretty bloody well. I thought Jez Liddon, I thought he was really bloody solid in the hooker role there. Had to move to the 6th role later in the game. Forgot to mention about Mikey Lewis Arthur Morg, the fullback, actually went down with, I think, HIA in the first half, and he played 32, sorry. Mikey Lewis ended up actually going to fullback, which is what he did for part of it in the Ashes. So that meant Jez Liddon actually went from number 9 and hooker down to the number 6 role there, which is kind of weird. I thought Jez Liddon was actually carving it up there in the number 9 role for a little bit there, but still had 1 line break assist, 2 try assists in there as well. Just thought for him to adapt and change into that role, 24 tackles in there as well, 5 missed. Thought he was still pretty bloody solid there. Another guy is Elliot Minchella. Thought he was very solid in the lock role there as well. I think he's the captain there as well. Dean Hadley got man of the match in this one here, but wasn't more like the standouts for Hull KR. I just thought sorry, I just need to scratch myself. I just thought it was more overall. I don't think there was too many downsides from Hull KR in this game. Just thought the overall whole 17 in this game here played pretty bloody solid here. We got Carl Lawton coming off the bench, 43 minutes. He came on at number 9, obviously coming from Manly, played at the Cowboys, played for a few teams in the NRL, first year in the Super League. But yeah, as I said, very overall, just thought Hull KR's performance overall, which is very, very solid. Not too many sort of downsides in the team here. Let's get into the Broncos here, and I want to start from the top here. Reece Walsh, and thought Reece Walsh, talk about Supercoach, obviously he's quite a hype player, most expensive player in the game. I thought he was a bit of a quiet one in the first half here, and then really showed what he can do in the second half. We know what Reece Walsh can do, especially the back half of last year, just pretty much was like the best purple patch of footy I think we've ever seen. And he really did show that in the second half. Started to create a few line breaks and a few sort of chances as well. He went 20 runs for 268 meters, which you don't generally see from a guy like Reece Walsh getting near the 300 mark. 2 line breaks, 3 line break assists, 2 try assists there, which is very good numbers. You think that's 20 points there. You think that's 24 points. That's 44. 2 try assists, that makes it 68 points just from that there alone. Then you put in his runs there. That was very, very good. 6 tackle breaks. He's hitting 75 plus just from tackle breaks, line break assists, line break, and try assists there as well. Then whatever you have from runs there on top. Sure, obviously Reece Walsh, who's going to have a couple errors every single game. I think he had 2 errors, but it doesn't matter when it comes to Reece Walsh because you have 2 errors, but then he makes it up and then he ends up having 2 line breaks, 3 line break assists, and 2 try assists, which completely makes up for the fact that he has 2 errors. He's just an absolute freak in nature. The errors that he has in his game, he just does not seem to phase him whatsoever. I thought the wingers here, Karapani, I thought Dean Mariner were pretty solid in this game. Dean Mariner scoring a try, Karapani setting up that one for Shibasaki there off a beautiful kick from Reece Walsh. 15 runs, 202 meters from Dean Mariner, 20 runs and 190 meters from Karapani there. Karapani having that try assist as we spoke about. Just thought these two were pretty bloody solid. And talk about the centers. One was really good. One was, I thought, pretty off in this game here. Shibasaki, I thought, was unbelievable and just sort of proves hard work outbeats talent, because this guy a year ago was hinted at getting a starting spot in the centers for the Broncos, and me and everyone else pretty much in NRL thought, what in the fuck, really? Shibasaki hardly been heard about. Training trial at the Cowboys there, didn't get any perform for the games. Same at the Knights there. Same at the Rabbitohs there as well. And gets his opportunity at the Broncos last year, and he just took it with two hands. Ends up getting into the Origin Series, ends up playing 3 games in the Ashes as well. Winning a premiership, winning a grand final, and comes into this game and continues his good form. 2 tries in this one here, 18 runs, 213 meters, 88 post contact. Had a line break there as well, 10 tackle breaks. He was absolutely everywhere. Had an offload in there as well, and he was unbelievable. He had 2 errors, but the 2 errors that he made up for were unbelievable with that. As he scored a try in the first half off a lovely support play to Karapani there, and then he scored a lovely little line break try off a Reece Walsh pass, but just thought he was absolutely everywhere in this game. And such a credit to Shibasaki in just from where he's come from. Kotoni Staggs, I thought he was pretty bloody average. I think he had a couple really crucial errors. He had 2 errors, but both of them pretty much set up easy possession for Hull KR to actually score tries in this one. Yeah, he scored a try, but it was pretty much a run-in try there. Set up from Reece Walsh and just a bit of sort of passing play to the right side. 11 runs, 105 meters. Like, you look at the other, back line. Reece Walsh, 268. Karapani, 190. Shibasaki, 213. Mariner, 202. And then Staggs was running for 105. Bit of a down game definitely for Staggs in this one. I know he'll be definitely pissed off with that one, but see how he bounces back from that one. Obviously represented Australia in the Ashes at the end of last year as well, and in all 3 games. Just thought, could have been a little bit better from Kotoni Staggs in this one here. In the halves, Ezra and Adam Reynolds, I don't think they were bad. I don't think they were amazing though. Adam Reynolds did go 2 from 5 from the boot, so they did actually score 5 tries each. But Adam Reynolds on the boot did cost them a little bit. Yeah, they scored a couple tries in the corner, but the kicky conversions, this actually ends up 30 all in this one here. Had a line break assist. Did he have any tries or try assists? He did have, excuse me, where am I finding it now? No, he didn't have any tries assist in this one. Just a 1 line break assist. Kicking game I thought was pretty solid, but again, didn't really do a whole lot in this one here. I thought Ezra Mann, very similar as well. Didn't really do a whole lot. 1 line break assist. Don't think he had any try assists in this one here. I can't really, where's my tab gone? Don't think Ezra Mann didn't really seem to show up. We spoke about Corey Jensen, just literally spent the 1 minute in the game in this one. But that meant Payne Haas spent 80 minutes in the middle in this one here. It's just an absolute fucking machine. So did Pat Carrigan. Pat Carrigan obviously scoring that crucial try to actually start to get the comeback going off a Ben Tolte line break. Good support play, but Payne Haas, 80 minutes, 16 runs, 143 meters, 50 post contact here in this one here. He went 47 tackles and 1 missed. And we talk about Supercoach and starting with an 820k sort of player up the top there. A lot of money, but fucking hell, especially with him going to a new team next year. Why wouldn't Michael Maguire absolutely try and get as many minutes out of Payne Haas as he can possible, looking at long term? This is obviously his last year at the Broncos there. Why wouldn't he try and get as many minutes out of Payne Haas as possible? Absolutely unbelievable stats. I think he had 5 offloads in there as well, which I didn't actually mention, but 5 offloads in there as well for Payne Haas, who's absolutely unbelievable in this game. Shout out to Paddy Carrigan as well, playing 80 minutes in the middle, scoring a try, 16 runs, 164 meters. Thought he made a lot of tackles in this game as well. Yeah, 50 tackles to 3 missed tackles. He was really, really strong in this game here, Paddy Carrigan. Really good performance considering Corey Jensen went down in the first minute there. Jordan Ricky, thought he was very solid there on the edge there, playing 80 minutes as well. This guy that seems to be getting improving there as well. Didn't have too many runs with the ball, just the 8 runs, but I thought he made a fair share. Yeah, 38 tackles and 3 missed. Very solid performance, I thought, from Jordan Ricky. Who else have we got? Willison was not too bad off the bench there, had a couple little moments. Ben Hunt, thought he was not too bad there as well, 36 minutes. Ben Tolte. Now, Ben Tolte was nowhere near this Broncos team halfway through last year. Gets the call from Michael Maguire essentially to come up from, I think he's coming up from the Storm, like New South Wales Q Cup side. Comes up for the back half of the year, and manages to find his way onto the bench and he just was really good at the back half of last year. Unfortunately, didn't end up playing the grand final, but coming off the bench, he had 26, 26 minutes, 9 runs, 115 meters, 24 post contact. He had that line break and assist to set up that try for Paddy Carrigan as well. 20 tackles in there as well. So very, very solid performance by Pentalty there. I'd expect him to be no argument on the bench for the Broncos a lot of this year. Be very surprised if he's not. And then a guy that had a lot of hype heading into this preseason and this season is All Blacks Tafa. Only played the 22 minutes in this one. Considering Corey Jensen had got injured in this one here, I thought he'd do more or play more minutes. Probably just a sign to see where he kind of at. Only 5 runs, 54 meters in this one here. I did make the 20 tackles, which I guess is pretty solid, but was pretty quiet. I said didn't really do much on attack that we know he can. If you haven't heard of All Blacks Tafa, coming over from the Dolphins this year, make sure you go check out his highlights. He's an absolute weapon. But the Broncos as overall, I don't think we learnt too much, right? Like, we know, obviously, last year that they get behind and then end up coming back and end up winning the game. And honestly, we nearly saw the exact same in the first game. This is the first game of the year, right? Hull KR have played 1 game, obviously their trials as well. But they have played, I think they've played 2 games, so but 1 main game in the Super League, which was last week. And they actually opened up the season in the Super League playing against York. And York is actually a newly promoted team into the Super League. And they lost. They lost against York. And I think they're up 12-0 as well. They're leading with 20 minutes to go and they lost. They were literally 24.5 point favorites. They were paying like $1.05 to win the game and they lost. And for them to bounce back and score 5 tries against the Broncos, I get it. 4 of them were off kicks, but they still scored 5 tries, right? You still have to go and score the points. Very good bounce back for Hull KR. For the Brisbane Broncos side, it's the first ever match since the grand final. Like, I don't think you can take too much away. I think you can, like, again, look at patches and go, like, yep, they're going to be very, very good again, especially even if they get behind. They're going to be able to score a lot of points once again. Reece Walsh, they've got so much attack. Where it's Shibasaki, Karapani, Staggs, Mariner. The back 5 is elite there. You still got Payne Haas. Jordan Ricky looks better. Paddy Carrigan looks very, very fit this year as well. As I said, it's literally their first trial this year. They don't get to play a game now until they play the Panthers. So 1 trial for them until they literally play round 1 of the NRL season there. So it's a little bit tougher, but then again, they are in that position for a reason. That's because they're the premiers from last year. Having to travel over there, they've been over there for a couple of weeks. They're kind of very rusty at the start, right? Which I guess you have to expect. As I said, it's literally their first trial of the year. And just sort of getting back into it, match fitness. But for Payne Haas in his first match to play 80 minutes, I think Ramadan has just started as well, which he does so they don't eat between sunrise and sunset. Absolutely electric. Like, I thought he was unbelievable in this game. Payne Haas looks like we're going to see the very similar from him coming into this year as well. But I said, I don't think we've learnt too much. Like I said, I think we just got to see how the Broncos sort of get going in the sort of last, not in the last half, but heading into the start of this year. Saw a guy on Twitter who thought he's sort of expecting this to come. He thinks Broncos actually missed the 8 this year and they're just not that good. It's the first literally trial of the year. As I said, like, you saw the Panthers have lost the World Club Challenge before against St. Helens and yet to go still, and they went on to still win the premiership later on that year. Honestly, I get they lost. They get the big favorites, but like the negatives is like, yeah, you let in 5 tries, but like I just don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was catastrophe, but I don't think it was lights out. I think you sort of like Madge can walk away from this game saying, like, yeah, we lost. That's disappointing. I wanted to win, but a lot of good signs considering it was literally their first match of the year. So obviously, Hull KR, World Club Champions, World Champions, getting to win 30-24 in this one here. That'll do it for me in this review of the World Club Challenge. Massive shout, as I said, to Hull KR in this one here, getting the win. But I think the Broncos still looking very, very good heading this year. They're in my top 4. I don't know if they go back-to-back, but they're still strongly in my top 4 for this year. But that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for watching and listening, guys, and cheers.